Okay, so things are crazy, and we've officially gotten the word that we are locked down, and I'm going to be spending a lot of quality time here in my kitchen. So, what to do? I can't go to the grocery store, and I don't really want to spend too much money, a little strapped for cash, so gonna try to see what I can do with what I have on hand. It's time for a good old-fashioned pantry raid. So let's check out the old pantry. Got some bread flour, some sugar, some all-purpose flour, another bag of all-purpose flour, a third bag of all-purpose flour. Yeah, some active dry yeast, brown sugar, regular sugar, whatever. Salt. Voila. I've already started to experiment with a couple of different things. I've seen some videos on YouTube from Binging with Babish or a couple other channels. Here I have a pizza dough that I made. I actually made the pizza last night. It was absolutely delicious. This is a starter that I'm trying to make for sourdough. I'm following a 7-day process to create sourdough starter. Then eventually I'll make my own sourdough, which is pretty awesome. And then finally, this thing right here is going to be just a standard loaf that you make in a Dutch oven. They call it a boule, so it's just like a ball of bread, but right now it's a slow rising fermentation dough. So pretty cool. But if you're watching the video because of the thumbnail, this is what you're after. These sticky buns from this month's issue of Bon Appetit. I'm going to be trying to replicate these, though it's going to be a little bit of variation because this recipe requires dates. I don't have dates, so I'm just going to make like a standard filling. Let's go over what we need. We're going to need 3/4 cup buttermilk, 7 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 large egg, 1/4 cup packed dark brown sugar, one of these packets of active dry yeast, 3 cups of my all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And portion it all out. Wow. There we go. Okay. Oh, I forgot I needed to reserve 1 tablespoon of that oil for later. You'll see what I'm doing with that. Okay, let's start off by taking a small bowl, put our buttermilk into it, and combine our oil, the 6 tablespoons of it. We're going to microwave that for about 10 seconds just to bring it up to about room temperature or body temperature, even better. So whisk that together to combine, just double check that it's not too hot, and set aside. Next we're going to grab a measuring cup, add our egg and our brown sugar and that whole entire packet of active dry yeast. Just dump that on in there and whisk it all together. Once you have it combined, we're going to add it to our buttermilk mixture and whisk that up. It won't really look smooth, but that's okay. Next, get out a food processor and add all your flour, your baking soda, and salt. Close the lid up and pulse to combine. And then with the food processor running, slowly add in your buttermilk mixture and allow it to go until it's combined. Now you have your dough ball. Let's go ahead and start kneading this dough ball, pushing away from you and pulling in. You're going to be doing this a lot. I found that this was very difficult to do. The recipe in Bon Appetit said it was going to be a very wet dough. Mine was not, but eventually we got there. So next up is the rolling pin. We need to roll this out to a square that is about 8 inches by 8 inches. I wasn't able to do that, so I had to let it rest for a little bit, about 15 minutes, just to let the gluten relax. I found that this made it a lot easier to roll out. As you can see, it's going a lot easier. So just kind of try to make it as square as you can. I can't really figure out how to square it up, but anyways, about 8 inches by 8 inches, then fold over in half so that it's 4 inches by 8 inches. Then fold again so that it's 4 inches by 4 inches. And now we have to roll it again back out to an 8 by 8 square, and we're going to repeat the whole process over basically. So you have your 8 by 8 square. Now we're going to measure it just to make sure, bring out the chains. It's a little bit short, so we'll go ahead and just add a little bit. I can't quite get that thing to square up. Oh well, that's all right. Now we're going to fold it over in half again, just like we did before, and then fold it over again so that we have a 4 by 4 square. And now we're going to put it in a bowl with that 1 tablespoon of reserved oil. Just kind of whap it around there and get it coated. And now we're going to seal it with some plastic wrap tightly and chill it in the fridge for up to 8 hours or overnight. So now you can see it's the next day and it's a new tropical shirt. We're going to go ahead and make our filling. So for this one, I'm going to use 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and 6 tablespoons of softened butter. Just going to go ahead and cream these together in the bowl and set it aside. Now to pull out our dough, as you can see, it has doubled in size and it looks really puffy and kind of cool. So we're going to sort of mash it down with the old rolling pin. Again, you're probably going to want to let it sit for a little while, let that gluten relax, because as you can see, it's very tough. But it'll eventually smoothen out. Roll the dough out until it's about 12 inches long, and then add your filling to the dough. But be sure to leave about 1 inch at the top for when you roll it up right here. So roll it starting closest to you, pushing away, roll it on over till you have this nice big old log, and oil up a cast iron skillet. Next, we're going to trim off the edges to just sort of square up the sides. Just use a sharp knife to cut right through that and discard those pieces. Now we need to take the log that we have and divide it into 3 equal sections, 3 roughly equal sections, I suppose. And we're going to take those subsequent sections and section them off into 3 sections as well. Make sure they're about 1 inch wide and go ahead and add them into your cast iron skillet like so. They'll look like this, and now it's time to foil them and let these things rest for about an hour. They'll puff up a little bit and look like this. Put the foil back on and throw the skillet into a 350 degree preheated oven for about 20 minutes. Once that's done, hello. Yeah. Now we're going to take the skillet out and take a look, remove the foil. You should see that the cinnamon buns have puffed up quite a bit, but they're still pretty pale, not really brown. So we're going to throw them back in for another 15 minutes or so to let them get nice and golden brown. In the meantime, we're going to make our icing with 3 tablespoons of buttermilk, 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, and a teaspoon or 2 of vanilla extract. Go ahead and whisk that together and set it aside. When you pull out your buns, let them cool for a little bit because they're going to be scorching hot, as you can see. Now that you've let them cool, you can add some of that icing to it. Just spoon it right on top. And if you have one of these silicone brushes, it's nice to brush the icing into every little nook and cranny. The end result for these was absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more pantry raid ideas.